This is a place that's called Stonehenge, America.
Okay.
This white one?
Yeah.
This is Washington D.C. This is Washington D.C. So I'm gonna show you how Washington D.C. is set up.
Oh.
And if you look at its street system, the way that the streets were lined out, do you see the star shape
Yes.
in the blue? Okay, our founding fathers back in the early 1700s had this information in it. And do you see the star here?
Yes.
There's actually a bunch of stars. But if you notice when I pan out, that these locations go everywhere all over the world.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to pan into this one here. And this is Stonehenge, America.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I don't know how well you can see this.
Yeah, I think quite well.
Okay, good. So when what I've done is when you look at this space, you see the lines that are coming out?
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a hill. It's a hill. And this hill has these features on it. Monolithic features, do you see those?
Yes.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a monolith.
Okay.
Now, in the center of this hill is a structure. It's an ancient stone structure, stack stone.
Oh,
And
nice.
They've dated this to be thousands of years old already. Okay, so I've had this knowledge for a long time. It's a mathematical equation, and it's what you do is you combine the Pythagorean theory. Are you familiar with the Pythagorean theory?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay, and then you're familiar with the Fibonacci sequence?
Yes.
Okay, when you combine those two and you use pi,
Yes.
you can navigate the Earth with those numbers by using these sites. Okay.
Yeah.
So each one of these, do you see these thumbtacks, these yellow marks I put here?
Yes.
Okay, those marks, let me pan out a little bit. Those marks are out here. Those are the locations of those monolithic stones, okay?
Okay.
Now the center of this location is where that little building is. Again, it's this part, this building, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you walk down into that building, it's underground, and about a foot of it is above ground.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see this is from the inside looking out. Okay.
Nice.
Here are these. You go down inside, and there are these little windows. There's windows in there, and those windows look out over these monolithic stones. Here's the stones, right?
Okay. According to the lines.
What's that?
According to the lines.
Yeah, they're out here. These stones are out here.
Yeah.
But you're looking from the building, which is out here. Okay, so what I did was I understand this kind of architecture. So what I did was I found the elevation of each one of these stones is exactly 85 meters above sea level. Okay, all of them are placed exactly 85 meters above sea level. There's this one, all of them around this spot. So the middle of it, where the underground structure is exactly 100 meters above sea level.
Okay.
Which creates a 15-degree angle, right?
Yes.
And this angle, because this spot is the highest location, and it's located in New Hampshire, but it's the highest location in New Hampshire. It's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first one that I started researching. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I started doing the triangulation, and these red lines actually go all the way around the Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and they go to what's called adipose point, which is the opposite side of the Earth from this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. This
So I
makes
started
sense.
tracing these lines, okay, what they went over, where they intersected, and I'm gonna go out. And do you see the green line?
Yes.
Okay, that green line. There's a green line and a blue line. I don't know if you can see them. See the green line and the
Yeah,
blue line?
yeah. I see it. Yes.
Okay, there's also an orange line and a yellow line here too. Here's the orange line right here going through. I don't know if you can see. It's very dim. But
Yeah.
those three, all those lines come from somewhere else on our planet.
Yes.
So I started going to see where they went. And now as I zoom out, you can kind of see where they went on the North American continent. Okay?
Yes.
I'm gonna get rid of this map here. Let me find. I'm going to get rid of a couple of these overlays so we can see this better. Okay, so when I noticed that when I followed these lines and started going, okay, well, this place is 3,000 to 5,000 years old. They say, what other places are there out there that are that old? What kind of architecture or archaeological sites are out there? So I made a list of all archaeological sites. And some of them that are in the United States were like this one here, which is called Bighorn Medicine Wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it, it's basically a Stonehenge. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, it's basically a Stonehenge that is built on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Now it uses the same mathematics how it's built. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make this so it's easier to see here, and this might help. Some of this might help you in your research. So when you're looking straight down on it, this is what it looks like from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's got a center.
Yeah.
And out on its rings, it has these different round, what they call kivas.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I took, and then you see all the other spokes that are in it.
Yeah.
Okay, there's other lines that are going through that. So when you take these lines, and this one just happens to go over the Stonehenge in New Hampshire, but remember, this is in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I did was on all the sites that I've plotted, I've taken the true north, the true south, true east, and true west from these, and found their adipose points. Okay. Now when you pan out, you'll see the other lines going through it eventually.
Yeah.
See the different colors?
Yes.
Okay, this one right here intersects this point. This comes from Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
This one comes from the Chetro Kettle, which is the next place I'm going to show you. You've heard of Chaco Canyon in Arizona, New Mexico?
No.
No. Okay. Well, it's kind of like the archaeological sites that you're finding in Europe as well. It's old. It's very old. In fact, they think it's 10,000 years old. But I'll show you that one next. And do you see this one?
Yes.
That one right there comes from Giza.
Okay.
Giza. And here's another one that goes through. So a lot of these places around the Earth, they overlap or they intersect at these main hubs. Okay.
Yes.
Now, these three main hubs right here are in locations where they're the highest elevations. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, I'm gonna pan out. I'm gonna follow this line right here, the blue. You see the purple one, the blue one?
Yes.
When we follow that due south, it ends up being in what's called Chaco Canyon, New Mexico.
Nice.
And you see the other red line overlapping these places? I'm gonna pan out here a little bit. Now, do you see this blue line here?
Yes.
This, okay, this
Yeah.
one goes straight back to
Okay.
the one that's in New Hampshire, which is right here. So basically, all three of these locations triangulate with each other.
Okay.
Now, what I found, I'm using North America because after years of this research, I need to focus on certain areas. I can't just
Yeah.
keep doing this all over the world.
Yeah.
So this one here is interesting, and I'll show you the math that's used here. It's pretty simple math, and you may be able to use it. I wouldn't mind collaborating with someone because I need somebody else to help me with this research.
Mm-hmm.
So when I come down to this location, this is an ancient spot, and I'll show you what it looks like. You may have seen a picture of this before, but this is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it clearly.
But it's the area of the ancient Hopi Indians. Are you familiar with them? The Hopis.
Yes,
So
I know
what
them.
I'll show you here, and I'm going to use a different view here because that's the clearer one. But do you see the star shape?
Yes.
Okay, the star shape is in the structure. It's in the way that these places are all built, and they're all built with a north, south, east, west line in them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when you look inside of this, this is the interior of this. I'm gonna blow it. Well, shoot. I don't know if this is gonna. I don't know if you can see. This is
Nice
one of
program
those
here, the lines.
deals. Do you see all these windows?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're standing in the center of that and you look out, this was covered at one time, but when you're standing in the center of it and you look out these windows, they're all at different little elevations. You're looking at a different star or a different constellation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I got to get out of this. How do I? There we go. So when I pull back out, I'm going to go back to the north, south, east, west alignment. Again, they built this, and my grandmother. I remember my grandmother used to try to teach me how to. She would ask me, "How many squares can you fit in a circle?" And I would try to do that. Well, the answer is it's never ending, and that's where pi comes into play, right?
Yeah.
So because what pi represents is the line that defines the circle and the line that defines the point that touches the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that line will never disappear. There's always going to be a line there. Okay, and that line actually represents the number pi. So by using that, I've been able to find all these other places around the world. This is what it comes down to. And each one of these blue lines connects to another place. For instance, Stonehenge. Now I'm going to take you to Stonehenge. You see this green line here?
Yeah.
Comes to here.
Yeah.
Well, when you come to this location in New Hampshire, by determining where the stars are or what time of year it is, you can travel to these locations. So I'm going to follow this line, the red line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here, I'll peel out. For some reason, my mouse isn't working.
Lots of data.
You can follow it yourself, really. But
Yeah.
it flows. It goes. This line, it's right down here
Yeah.
from American Stonehenge, goes all the way across and goes right across this spot right here. It's orange. You see orange?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you see the other lines that are coming through it? There's not just the one from the United States, but there's a small orange line right there too.
Yeah.
Goes through it. But this is actually Stonehenge in England. And I've never been there, but I'm going there I'll be there this summer.
Oh, nice.
June. I'm going to go look at it. So when you, again, for some reason my computer is slow, but when you actually, a lot of people have been here. I'll just take it at that it's Stonehenge.
Yeah, I know.
But when you continue line off, when you see that red line,
Mm-hmm.
and that red line comes from the United States, but it continues on to across the Mediterranean, and you probably see where I'm going with this.
Yes.
But it ends up in Lebanon, which is the Holy Lands,
Yes.
in the Golan Heights. Okay. Now the interesting thing is along that line, see how it says Mount Lebanon?
Yes.
That's Mount Lebanon in Beirut, Lebanon, right?
Yeah.
Well, all in the United States along that line, there are so many places called Mount Lebanon. All these mountains are named Mount Lebanon.
Okay.
And so at one point in time, and I think it's within the last 500 years, our mariners or explorers knew about this, and they had maps of this. And I've been using those maps because now you can tap into the archives or the library of the National Archives of Italy, the Spain, the Vatican. They're releasing all these documents digitally that you can access now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, but not only the red line is here,
Yes.
but you have the blue line.
Yeah.
That blue line comes from that spot, okay, that spot in New Mexico. This line right here is kind of interesting because, and here's the white line that comes from, Washington, D.C. And here's a yellow one as well. So when you continue to follow this line and you figure out where all their adipose points are, it points to look at all these that cross right here. It points to the Maldives, the island. These are all intersection points of, okay, there's a place called Three Brothers here. There's a Stonehenge here. Now these are the adipose points, and what's, like I said, it's interesting is their islands are like Easter Island and this and that. I'm going to show you one of the on the United States where oops, I'm all mixed up here. In the United States, one of the intersection points that all of these point to is a place right here. And have you heard of Oklahoma?
Yes.